So we know that the Nintendo Switch 2 is on the way. We know it's happening, we know we're going to get an announcement before March of 2025, but today a credible leaker has come out and said that the Switch is in production, as well as some extra details about what the console looks like, and a lot more. So let's get straight into it. Before we get started though, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and also liking, because that does massively help us out, and thank you, as always, for watching. So the Switch 2, if you are a Nintendo fan, you will feel like you've been waiting forever for the Switch 2. Well, at least I do. I feel like I've been waiting for the Switch 2 for a very, very long time. Not as long as maybe the NX. I feel like the wait for the NX was a lot longer, but we have still been waiting for the Switch 2 for a very, very long time. However, today we're going to be going over some news that is potentially some light at the end of the tunnel for the Switch 2's launch, or the Switch 2's reveal, I should probably say. This comes from r/gaming leaks and rumours on Reddit. Somebody posted on there, and they said that a Family Board user has posted some information about the Switch 2. Now, they've posted this on one of the threads on there. They said that Switch 2 production has started somewhere in China, but they don't want to translate. 1,000 units a day. This is one worker, not a whole line. It's slightly larger than the Switch 1 with a smaller bezel, kind of like the OLED, black and white Joy-Con, kind of like the OLED, and slightly larger logo with a 2 on the side. One thing that they have said is that it's somewhere in China and they don't want to translate. That is a little bit weird. I don't know why they haven't done that. The only reason I could think that they haven't done that is because maybe it would be easier for people to find out where this actually was, and then, you know, people would find out and maybe it would leak a little bit more, and then maybe the people would get in trouble. That's the only reason I could think that they wouldn't want to translate or say exactly where this is. And they've already said that this is one worker, not a whole line, that's going on and saying this. So that seems a little bit strange that only one worker is coming out and saying this. Also at the beginning of the paragraph, which I didn't read out, they said it's new info from a Japanese forum poster who doesn't have a track record, so it could just be for fun and giggles. So it could, you know, necessarily not be true, but lots of people are believing this could be true. Now, you know, obviously the Switch 2 needs to be entering production if we're going to be seeing a reveal before March. If we're going to see this, you know, this console within the next year, I'd imagine it is already in production. So I personally think this is probably true. You know, I feel like somewhere in China they are producing the Switch 2 right now. Probably just incredibly strict NDAs, non-disclosure agreements with Nintendo that they can't go into details, they can't show photos, they're not allowed to talk about the Switch 2 before it's revealed. That's probably what the case is. I feel like there is a factory somewhere that is making Switch 2s. Now, as always, if you want to go and check this out, I'll leave a link in the description. You can go and check out the whole thread with everybody speculating, and where it's actually posted over on Family Boards, I believe that's how you say that. That will be over on there, so you can check that out down in the link below in the description, as well as this link to Reddit as well. But yeah, for the rest of this video, we're just going to speculate now on what this could mean. Now, this is believable, in my opinion. You know, hearing details such as a larger Switch 1, slightly larger than the Switch 1 with a smaller bezel, that makes sense. Obviously the Switch OLED had a smaller bezel too. Slightly larger than the Switch 1. People thought that the Switch 1 was actually quite small. When you think back to 2017, I think a lot of people actually expected the Switch to be a lot bigger than it actually was, and it was actually really small. So maybe having a little bit of a bigger Switch would be good. It would be good to see maybe a bigger screen, maybe 8 or 9 inch screen as opposed to 7. That would be good as well. A bigger screen wouldn't go amiss for the Switch. Of course, obviously you've got that big bezel on the original Switch, which at the time felt a little bit dated. It feels really dated now, so glad to see that the bezel is gone. They also said that black and white Joy-Cons are going to be a thing. Now, we don't know what kind of black and white. Do we mean black and white like, you know, the Switch OLED, or do they mean like black and white as in their black Joy-Cons with maybe white buttons, like the inverse sort of colour option there? And these Joy-Cons, are they, you know, are they new Joy-Cons? Are they the same Joy-Cons? Do they have updated analog sticks so they don't drift? We don't really know any details about this. Yeah, there's big details here. There's big details in terms of like it's larger than the Switch, smaller bezel, black and white Joy-Con, and a 2 on the side, but not a lot of like specifics. It seems still very basic. Now, the only thing that really set this apart from the OLED really during this whole thing is that it says it has a 2 on the side. Does that mean on the side of the Switch it has the number 2? Does that imply that the actual console should be called the Switch 2? It's a little bit weird that they're talking about the 2 on the Switch 2 being printed onto the Switch on the side of the Switch. Now, the side of it, does that mean like the Joy-Con rail, it has a number 2 in it? That seems really, really strange, because for the most part, they are kind of describing the OLED there. Apart from that number 2, they're kind of describing the OLED, so maybe, maybe there is some truth to this, but maybe somebody got confused with the OLED. It seems a little bit too similar to the OLED, and I would hope for more new details from a Switch 2 reveal if this was true. Yeah, this factory leak is a little bit vague. It doesn't really give much away, it doesn't really tell us much, but the biggest thing that we can take away from this is that number 2. It's going to be called the Switch 2, which is probably the easiest name Nintendo could have gone with, but it doesn't feel very Nintendo. If we think about, sequels, obviously the Wii U, yeah, that was an awful name, but the NES to the SNES, that makes sense. Things like that, the DS, the 3DS, these names are kind of like creative, just saying DS2 or Switch 2 or Wii 2. We've never really seen that, so part of me really doesn't believe the name, and a lot of this could be fake. This leak could be fake. Take it with a pinch of salt. They are pretty much describing the OLED. The only real things that to be excited about from this leak, if it is true, is the number 2. That kind of gives away the name, the Switch 2, which is a good name. It's better than the Wii U. It's not very creative and it's not very Nintendo, but it is a very good name and it will sell very well based on the fact it's just the next Switch. It's number 2. It's like the PlayStation 2 from the PlayStation 1. People know what it is just from the name, so that makes sense. So that's great, and also the fact that it's in production. But I feel like even without these leaks, I feel like as fans we can kind of imply that the Switch 2 is already in production. Like, I don't know how long it takes to make a product, to ship it out, to fully finish a product. I don't know how long that takes, but I would imagine that it would take over a year to get enough stock ready for the launch. You know what I mean? I feel like the Switch, like the first run of Switches were probably made maybe 2016. Of course we have seen other factory leaks. I remember vividly the Switch Lite, that like the back shell of the Switch Lite, it was turquoise, that leaked early as well. We saw the Switch Lite early and everyone thought that was fake. So yeah, factories do make these things way in advance. They make them 6 months, a year or so in advance, so it would make sense that we are seeing some factory leaks right about now. Hopefully for a reveal, hopefully this month, maybe next. Of course, the Switch 1 was revealed in October, to be revealed in the March. Maybe we could see the same thing happen again. I really hope so, because that means it is very, very near. Alright everybody, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this leak is real? Do you think it is fake? What do you think about the Switch? When do you think it's going to be revealed? Do you think it'll be called the Switch 2? Do you think it will look a little bit better or different than the Switch 1? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm just really excited now for this thing to finally be revealed. I feel like I've been waiting for a Switch Pro or, a Switch 2 or just something new from Nintendo for ages. I feel like the Switch has been going for a very, very long time. I'm excited for a new console. I'm excited for a new Mario, a new 3D Mario. More exciting games coming over to the next Switch. I hope it's backwards compatible. I've got so many hopes and dreams for this Switch 2. So yeah, make sure you are sticking around, everybody, for more Switch 2 content as we find out about news. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in another video.